afternoon, MCM ComiCon. We are now live with Luke Pasqualino here on the MCM Buzz sofa. So, Luke, how have you been today?
I'm good. Enjoying my first Manchester Comic-Con in anticipation of the Musketeers. The finale starts tonight, so it's been good. The responses have been lovely, and it's always nice to be here with you guys. So,
have you seen any like Musketeer cosplayers about?
There's a couple, yeah. There's a couple floating around. I'm still waiting for there's a D'Artagnan. There's an Aramis and a Milady walking around somewhere. So I've been told that I need to look out for them. So we'll see.
Well, present yourself, guys. We're over at the MCM Buzz stage. Obviously, on Twitter, I see basically you forgot your driving license for a bike module. Yeah. Did you pass?
I did. Well, I couldn't take the test because I left my driver's license at home, unfortunately. Yeah. So I've rebooked it. So everyone wish me luck for that,
well,
and hope I don't break my
wish
neck.
him luck on Twitter, guys.
Yeah.
Again, your fans have been absolutely amazing on Twitter. We've asked them to tweet in for some Twitter TARDIS questions. We'll go on to them at the end. But first of all, I'd like to go on to Inside Number 9. It was a single role. I just want to ask, like, you played the part of Lee in the first episode, which was Sardines, which was a very dark comedic role.
It was,
to be fair.
Yeah.
What kind of drew you into that kind of role?
Well, I spoke to Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton, who obviously created the show and wrote every episode, and I've got a really good relationship with them, and I love the way they work. I'm a big fan of their previous work, like League of Gentlemen and Psychoville. Yeah. And I just felt really honoured that they were interested in me for that part, so I just jumped at the chance, really, and it was one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had in my career. It was so much fun.
Because obviously,
it really was great.
Most of that was filmed in a wardrobe.
It was filmed in a wardrobe, not a real wardrobe,
no.
Luckily. So we had a little bit more room than expected. But
How
it was
long
good.
was that to film throughout? Was it like a day, or was it kind of like
over
a few days?
It was about a week. It took us about a week to shoot that.
Okay, which was brilliant. So, what about any dark comedic roles in the future? Would you ever say I wouldn't mind doing?
I'd love
something
to.
like that?
I'd love to do a bit more comedy. I mean, I'm sort of crying out for a bit more comedy in my life at the moment. So we're I mean, fingers crossed. I'd love to experience that field a lot more.
And the roles would hopefully come in for you.
Hopefully the roles will come in. Yeah, I need to have a word with my agent if they don't. So we'll see what's going on.
Dark comedic roles for Luke, please. So, you are in the Musketeers.
I am indeed.
Oh wow, D'Artagnan. So basically, do you do any training leading up to a series? Do you, like, obviously, is it before do you train before, say, the start of shooting? Or
we do
continue?
What we call a boot camp. So before we start shooting every season, we'll get together for a week, and usually we go and stay in a little Czech village called little Czech town called Litomyšl. It's we stay in a lovely sort of like castle, and we go horse riding and sword fighting every day. And it's a really grueling week, but still it provides us with the skill set needed to to sort of carry out and do the best we can with these characters. So it's the most important, most valuable week of the shoot, really, in my opinion.
Right. So what would be kind of like the itinerary for, say, the middle of this training? Like what kind of things would you be doing in training?
A typical day during the boot camp would be wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Straight downstairs for yoga at 6:30 for an hour. Breakfast at 7:30. Then straight out to the stables, clean the horses out, saddle them up, go out for a 2-hour arena ride.
Right.
Back to the castle for sword play and a bit of stunt work. Then lunch, and then the same thing again in the afternoon.
Wow. So
and then we finish all of that just in time for bed and shower.
Just in time for bed and shower?
Just in time for bed. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing you want to do when you finish a day like that. Exactly. You just want to get into bed.
Do you enjoy it? Obviously, you enjoy doing that.
I love it, yeah. Absolutely love it.
Was you a horse rider beforehand?
No, I wasn't. I absolutely wasn't, no. There were a few near misses in the earlier stages, but we won't talk about that at the moment.
So the costumes look really kind of, they look full on. So how long does it take you to get changed into these costumes?
Well, for the first couple of weeks, we needed help, really, to sort of like someone needed to tie us in at the back or do a buckle up or this or that. But by the after a few weeks in, you sort of do it with your eyes closed. Really, it's just sort of mid-conversation, start strapping everything up and buckles and whatnot. It does get easier. It does get easier.
So basically, some scenes that you had in this season with Stephen Walters.
Yes.
An amazing actor, very intense.
Incredible, yeah.
How was it to work with him?
Wonderful. He's like a real. I mean, the first thing I'd ever seen Stephen in was Mean Machine, and I thought he was just absolutely incredible in it. He probably won't like me using that as a credit for him, but I thought he was brilliant. And I've been a big fan of his work, and I just think, like you said, he's just a very intense, very intense actor, but as a person, he's the sweetest, loveliest, like softest, calmest dude you could ever meet. And a real joker as well. Really, really funny. Loves to play a prank or two. So it was, we got on like a house on fire. It was great.
Brilliant. So who is the prankster on set then? So obviously if Stephen was.
We all are, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all are.
Banter.
Tom Burke is a big one. Yeah, we've got me and him have a bit of a rivalry going on. And we take it to stupid levels, really, as well.
What levels?
Climbing on top of each other's trailers to like jump down through the sunroof to try and make each other jump, and just ridiculousness, basically. Stupidness.
So just happy times on set all round, really.
It was, yeah. No, it really was, yeah.
Yeah, light fun, should I say. So basically, a lot of women love all the Musketeers. What?
There you go.
Thank you very much. So on set, is it kind of the same on set? Do the men swoon after the female actors, and then the female actors kind of still swoon over?
I'd be lying if I said that we didn't, our ears and our eyes didn't sort of light up when the ladies walked onto set, because they all are incredibly beautiful. So we're very, very lucky in that sense. I don't know how they feel about us, but we like them. So we'll let you guys be the judge of the rest.
That's it. So on to another role that you're going to be in is Our Girl.
Yeah.
That is on BBC One. Basically, you said that you play a Special Forces SAS commander. Is there any kind of training or research that you've done to get involved in that role?
I spoke to a couple of guys who were in the army, and we had a lot of just to sort of get their views on it and what it was like from a first-hand perspective. But we had a military advisor called Nigel Partington, who was incredibly helpful, and he took us through our own little boot camp as well, taught us out hand signals, just the correct way to posture yourself, proper way to hold a gun, movements, kneeling down, just everything that you need to know really within a short space of time, obviously. So that got us up to speed with everything we needed to do physically.
Okay.
But it's just sort of like even just watching these guys at work when you're seeing how they operate on a day-to-day basis, everything just had a real ease to it, even the way they just walk up to get their lunch, it just had like a real ease and just a calmness about it, and I think that was the one thing that I definitely took away from it.
I suppose they're in a high-pressured environment as it is, so it's kind of nice to see people like that take it within their stride.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
So what kind of work did you do with the guns?
But I mean, most of it was sort of, I went to like a shooting range, and we had went to a great paintball arena in South Africa, which was really good, and we were given sort of like tasks backwards and forwards, and we had to get from one end of the arena to the other end of the arena without getting shot, and we had to sort of take out 4 or 5 different targets that were set for us at any one time. So it was sort of like the missions, so to speak, changed every exercise, but it was it was good fun. Really enjoyed it.
Nice. So what was it like to film in South Africa? Was it, obviously it's hot, was it kind of grueling at times?
Very, very hot. And when you've got all of you sort of like your Bergen and this and that and everything else, Paulie, you've got everything else on, it's, it does, you do sweat. You definitely do sweat. And, you do need to top up with fluids a lot. A hell of a lot. But it was, it was great. It was so much fun. It's like every boy's dream to play with guns and get to shoot in helicopters and stuff every day. So it was, it was brilliant. I couldn't have asked for more, really.
So you was in a helicopter shooting?
Helicopter, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of helicopter stuff. It was great, yeah. It was really good. It was really good. I mean, sort of, it's the first time you do it, it's sort of like you're just looking out, knowing that you could fall to your death at any moment if that seatbelt gives way. But apart from that, no, it was great. I mean, you feel completely in safe hands with the guys over there. It was great.
Brilliant. So, obviously, you worked with Michelle Keegan.
I did, yep.
Okay to work with? Brilliant.
She's absolutely wonderful. She really is one of the nicest people I've ever had the pleasure of working with, of meeting, and she's a really, really close friend of mine. She's wonderful.
Really?
She's great. Yeah.
So so it's kind of easy on set to kind of just do the dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an absolute professional, and you just couldn't ask for more, really. She's great.
So your fans have been absolutely amazing on Twitter. I put out maybe 2 weeks ago. Any questions for Luke? And it's been red hot, literally red hot, and they've been absolutely amazing. So at the moment, we're going to go to our Twitter TARDIS, where we've got some of the questions for you guys at home. So if you want to open that for me, Luke, and then in the top there, that's it. And there's some Twitter questions in there. So if you could pick the first one out. Choose one, yeah.
Oh, this is a long one.
Wow.
It's from Nikki Caddle. It says, my question is, you've worked with 2 icons of British cinema in Jeremy Irons and John Hurt. What were they like to work with, and do you have any stories you'd like to share? And for your new project, Our Girl, you're still playing a soldier, but have swapped muskets and swords for assault rifles and leather for fatigues. Which do you prefer? Right, the first question, Jeremy Irons and John Hurt. These guys, I mean, I worked much closer with John than I did with Jeremy. But just watching these guys and seeing how they operate on a day-to-day basis is just, that's all you can really do. I don't think I ever really went up to John and asked him a question about how to do this or that. But just watching how he operates and how they handle certain situations and the way they approach their work, that's all I needed. That's all I needed for me.
To gain an experience from such a high caliber actor.
Absolutely, and that's, I mean, you can't. There's nothing John Hurt doesn't know about this industry. I mean, he's been doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, when I worked with him in 2012, it was his 50th anniversary of being in this industry professionally.
Yeah.
And he's just an absolute pro. And the guy just, the way he deals with everybody, the way he approaches his work, it's just like, it's exactly how you would imagine it would be at that level.
Yeah.
He's just an old school vet. That's what he is. He's incredible. Jeremy's great as well. Obviously, don't want to leave Jezza out. Our Girl, playing swap the muskets for assault rifles, leather for fatigues. Which do you prefer? Well, they're both incredibly uncomfortable to wear.
Yeah.
So I can't really choose that one. But we'll go, because we're here promoting the Musketeers, I'm going to say I like the Musketeers.
Yeah.
The muskets were a lot of fun. Yeah. They were very unreliable though. So it's sort of a 50-50. We're going to call it a draw with the Musketeers
there you
and
go.
Our Girl thing. We'll call it a draw.
So they get to see you in uniform in both, really. Do you know what I mean?
I am,
it's a win-win situation for the female audience.
I am. There you go.
Nice. So another question, please, Luke.
One more?
If you can, please, yeah.
Oh, that's a bit short, this one. This is from Limecat, @Limecat. Would Luke like to do theatre as his co-stars Tom and Howard have done? I would absolutely love to do theatre. I was very close to doing a play earlier this year. It was a character that I felt very close to, but it just didn't work out with timings and other jobs and other commitments, unfortunately. But I am looking to do theatre in the very near future, so fingers crossed.
Could you tell us what that was? What show that would be?
I don't know if I'm allowed, really.
You don't know if you're allowed? I would have been kind of kept away.
Yeah, I don't really want to upset anybody, really.
That's
okay. It goes out in, it's a new theatre called Found 111 in Soho, and it was a four-hander play about a story that I felt was quite close to my heart.
Nice.
And it was good. It was good. I mean, it was the character, a very interesting character that I'd never played before. So that was a big pull for me. Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm not doing it. So it's sort of a bittersweet question, actually.
So obviously, you just said about you'd love to play theatre. What show would you love to do if you was approached? Any, say, West End or any theatre production, what show would it be?
Well, if I could sing, I'd love to do a musical. I'm a bit of a sucker for musicals, but I can't sing or dance really. So
Sound of Music,
any of those. Wicked or Jersey. I could see myself as a Jersey boy, maybe.
Oh.
I've got the height for it.
What do you reckon, ladies? A Jersey boy? Nice.
You humour me, thank you.
Yeah. So if we do one more question and then there's one more shout out to do.
This one is from Christine Enyon, and it says, which is your favourite uniform from the acting roles you have been involved in? I think the Musketeers uniform is my favourite, purely for how it looks. I mean, when you put it on, it's very difficult to not feel badass, walking out of the set.
It looks tight for a start.
Yeah, but it's very tight, it's uncomfortable, but you sort of put all that to one side when you look at yourself in the mirror and go, yeah, it's cool.
Is there a swagger about you? So when you come out of that trailer...
I can work with that. So I can work with that, yeah. Cool, for sure.
Good, so we've got a shout out, if you could do that for us.
Yeah, big shout out to Marlena from the US, and I think Marlena follows me on Twitter. I'm pretty certain she follows me on Twitter. She's quite active in my in the following of me. Yeah. So thank you very much, Marlena, if you're watching. Thank you very much indeed. I've got your name right here, and lots of love to all of you, not just you.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Well, Luke, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
And yeah, we look forward to seeing what you've got to offer in the future as well.
Thank you very much indeed.
On to today then, guys. Could you please like and subscribe if you like this live stream or video. Apart from that, remember to keep an eye out for that Pokemon. Again, thank you very much, and we'll hear you again. Round of applause for Luke, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.